Welcome in, watchers and listeners, to Sport Talk with the Watt. If you would please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also, check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And with that being said, let's get this show on the road.
All right. We are back for episode number 60 of Sport Talk with Debo. I am Debo. I am here with Dan. He's back on the show. He's back for some more. Let's just go ahead and bring him in. What's going on, Dan?
How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. It's a nice Sunday night here in Chattanooga. So I got you back on the show, man. So how was your weekend?
It was good. Picked up some extra shift yesterday, and then today watched some golf this morning, FIFA World Cup this afternoon. It's kind of weird having a full sports day done before dinner, but yeah, we had the Open Championship today, came down to one stroke, and then the World Cup this afternoon. So good sports Sunday before football begins.
Oh yeah, I watched some of that soccer this afternoon, a little bit of that there, and that was pretty cool to see. And then I'll just jump on into some of my Friday night. Went to fishing Friday night, and big storm come in, didn't go the best for me there, so I didn't get to get my full time in there with the rain that come. And Saturday I was back at work there at 5 in the morning, so I got my 10 hours in again. I went to the Lookouts game Saturday night. So the played two games. That was a doubleheader. Got rained out on Friday, so they played 15 innings. So I was there for a little while. So they played two games, 15 innings. So that was pretty cool to see, and they got the win in the second game. So that was kind of good to see them get the win there. And then today, watched some of the Braves play the Rangers. Casper was there at this. So this afternoon at the game, and so he sent me a picture of that. So it was cool to see his seat there, and watched a bit of that soccer. But that was my weekend there. Thanks for being tuned in. Everybody, like, share, and subscribe if you would on the YouTube. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you follow us on Facebook. That's where I put out all the pictures and the videos there on Facebook. So give us a follow there. That being said, we'll move on into some news of the week. Chase Burns, pitcher for the Reds, 23 years old, signed a 7-year deal, $105 million. That's good money there, Dan. Played for the Vols and the Lookouts. So, that's a good deal for him on that.
Yeah, well, the key is with these young guys, the Brewers began starting this. Like, guys, the Braves kind of began this too. You sign these young guys young before they become like arbitration. So you pay a little bit more up front, but you lock him in long term. So he's 23, 7-year deal. You pretty much lock him up for his entire 20s. I think it's his rookie or second year, but he's 11-1 this season with the ERA in the twos. So actually, it wasn't for a crazy year with Mizorowski for the Brewers, Sanchez for the Phillies, and even Ohtani for the Dodgers. He might be getting Cy Young recognition. Just one of those years where you have three amazing pitchers all in the National League with ERAs below 2. But yeah, he's definitely right now one of the elite pitchers, young guy. Good for the Reds to lock him up long term, because a team like that, they can't afford to spend like the Yankees, the Dodgers, even the Mets. So when you get these young guys, you sign them, lock them up to a team friendly deal, and hopefully you have something to build on for the next half decade or so.
Oh yeah, it's a good deal he got there, and hopefully that he can stay healthy and whatnot, and be there for next, at least 7 years. So that's a pretty cool deal. I like that. That came out this week, so I wanted to pass it along here to the podcast. A pretty good deal for him there. We will move on to the slap. Tom Brady slaps Logan Paul. It seemed to be pretty legit to me. They were having a little conversation there on the stage. Tom got his hand out and kind of put down to his side, and he got him there, Dan. Got the slap. And, I saw it, and that was a very, very odd deal. But hey, I guess that happens these days.
Yeah, it was a WWE event. A lot of this stuff is probably staged for publicity. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just cynical, but I assume they did that just to get attention for it,
Yeah, when I saw them, when I saw all that, and they were, I couldn't, it's probably fake, and they were just kind of going back and forth, and then he got him, and then I feel like I feel like they got what they wanted there with some of the attention and whatnot. It definitely probably works anytime Tom Brady's in the news, and then Logan Paul. So that happened. So that's pretty cool, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we will go in. We'll just move on into some of the Brewers talk right here on Sport Talk. So the Brewers, I got y'all here on the show here, Dan, to talk all about the Brewers. So we got the Central there, up by 6 games over the Cubs. So just right there, that's a pretty good lead you got there, Dan.
Definitely, they're a good team. Actually, I think it was like May 5th, maybe the day wrong. They were actually in last place in the NL Central. So they've been hot since the beginning of May. Um, the beginning of the year, they had a couple guys injured. Churio was injured and Andrew Vaughn, two of the better hitters. They were out for the beginning of April, or the big whole month of April, I should say. So ever since those guys that came back, they've been on fire, you know. They got the young kids are hitting. They got Jacob Mizorowski, might be the best pitcher in baseball right now, throwing 105 when he starts. His starts will literally become a must-watch thing in Milwaukee. So like every like what 5 or 6 days after he starts, it's almost like everybody stops what they're doing and they watch these starts because he comes out there, throws the 104-mile-per-hour fastballs, and he doesn't just do it for one inning. He makes it last to the fourth, fifth, sometimes even sixth inning. He's just striking guys out, you know, bringing the heat. So yeah, they're definitely a fun team. Right now, I think they're a game back of the Dodgers for the best record in baseball. So if they keep this up, they make it the bye, maybe even get a home field advantage from the playoffs. And hopefully they can finally just break through in the playoffs. I'd say for the last 7, 8 years, they've had a really good team in the regular season, but every year they get to the playoffs and they just, you know, it's a heartbreak. They just don't do something. It's usually losing to the Dodgers or even your Braves got us in 2021. I'm sure you remember in that series. So hopefully they can break the streak, maybe even make a World Series. Last time they've been to the World Series was 1982, and well, I'm not that old. I'm getting up there in years, but I wasn't around in 1982. So it'd be amazing to see a Brewers World Series, just even appearance would be amazing to see for the city because this really is. It's Packers first in Wisconsin, but after that, it really is a baseball city and a baseball state in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking there. Yeah, it's a good team. They played the Marlins this weekend, and I got the sweep there. So they got all three wins there. I watched them that game also today, and they look really good. They are 62 and 37 this year, so they're having a strong year so far. So I feel like if they can just kind of keep things going, stay hot, and should be good to go there on that.
Yeah, every game this weekend was a comeback win. They were down in all three and they came back and won. And also another thing is too, Brewers usually have two aces. You have Jacob Mrazorowski and then you have the guy they got, Kyle Harrison from the Red Sox this year. Both of those two did not start this series. So you got a sweep at home against the Marlins, a team who's above 500 without using both of your aces. So that was a huge win. They quite frankly, they probably should have lost at least two of those games, but they somehow pulled it out. Today was a walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth. So just pulling out these wins and just keep stacking those wins up, and you make it almost impossible for the Cubs to come back and catch you.
Yeah, you want to keep the lead and you don't want to get it close because I know for the Braves at least we had a big lead there early on and it's starting to get close. So I feel like just as a fan, you just want to see your team keep the lead and don't be messing around too much. Stay hot and healthy, and you'll be good to go. Hopefully.
Well, the key for against the Braves is this: the Phillies got hot. They fired their manager. They won what Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, and he's had that team ready to go since beginning of May. They might be one of the better teams in baseball, and it wouldn't surprise me if they run the Braves down. I'm not sure how many more times they play each other this season, but that Phillies team is not a team you want on your heels right now. And they're playing good ball.
Yeah, that's a team I'm definitely nervous of. They
Mhm.
got some things changed over there early on, and now they fired the coach, and now they're hot, and they're definitely a
Mhm.
team to watch. And I think we're going to play them again later in the year, so that's what's going to be key. So can we show up and be better than them,
Mhm.
and get the wins? When we can. First half thoughts here. Now, what is your thoughts on the first half of the year for the Brewers?
I'm notoriously pessimistic. I love what I see, but I know come the playoffs, I've been used to disappointment. So I expect us to win probably about 95 plus games this season, but it doesn't impress me anymore. I've seen this story 100 times. I've seen this story multiple times in the last half decade. I need to see this team in the playoffs. And what has me worried is can they beat a team like the Phillies, like the Braves, like the Dodgers? Because playoff baseball is so much different than regular season baseball. So yeah, I expect this team to win 95, 96 games. But I mean, I've seen that before. I want to see a Brewers make a World Series, win the pennant. And pretty much it's going to be is what can this team do in October? Because if they win 96, 97 games and they got knocked out in the divisional round by the Phillies, I mean, it's just, we've been there before. We're ready for the next step.
Yeah, I understand that for sure. For the second half goals, I mean, it's got to be playoffs, but more. You don't want to just go to the playoffs and get knocked out early. I get it. I've seen
Hmm.
that with the Braves in the past, and the Brewers. They've been there. So as a fan, I understand you want to get there, but then you want to make it. You want to make it all the way, and
Hmm.
that's got to be what you want as a fan for sure on that. So playoff goals, I guess, kind of like we've said, you want to get all the way. So is this the year for them to get all the way? You think, Dan?
Oh, well, no, they have a window. They have a lot of young guys. There's really no major free agents coming up, so this team actually can built to compete for the next couple of years. So, but I think the next step is at least make the World Series, get past the Dodgers, and we'll see what happens. And not to be pessimistic, but are we gonna have baseball next season? There might be a strike. It might be a lockout. I guess I should say lockout, not a strike. It could be, like. Are we going to have, so this might be a season to hit it because next season you may have a shortened season. You may not have a season. It just so we'll see what happens. But I think this year you have to minimum. You probably want to at least make the World Series, show you can take the next step, show you can beat the Dodgers, and if you get there, it's a really 50-50 chance once you get to the World Series.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
yeah, that does sums it up right there. You got to get past the Dodgers. They're always the speed bump for these teams in the NL. They get they play them and they get stuck. They kind of get blocked. I guess get blocked by the Dodgers.
So much talent on that team, and even look at the Dodgers. That is have one of the best farm systems in all of baseball. So yeah, they can pay for the best players, but they have a great scouting department, great development. So they really are the gold standard when it comes to baseball franchises right now.
Yeah, they definitely get the talent in for sure, and they got the money and they got the talent, and it
Hmm.
shows, and they get the
Hmm.
players in there. So hopefully,
Hmm.
find a way, with the Braves or the Brewers to if we can find a way to get
Hmm.
past them and make it all the way, and then
Hmm.
then you kind of see what it's all about there.
Hmm.
All right, let's go to the fan base. Do these fans go to these games a lot? Is it packed out there each game there, Dan?
It definitely in the summer, definitely the weekend games in the summer draw huge crowds. But the biggest thing is you took you to the game a couple years ago. They have the stadium itself is on the west side of the city, so it's not near downtown. It's out like probably I'd say about a good 5 miles from downtown or so. So you have a huge parking lot with a big tailgate culture. So in the summer, everybody comes early, 2 or 3 hours, fire up the grill, have a beer, throw a brat on, on your portable like grill, and you grill it before the game. So I'm saying at the weekends, you probably get at least 35, 40,000 at those games every Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights during the summer at least. And it usually keeps up in the fall. The record is good, which it is this year.
Mhm.
So yeah, you're gonna have full stadiums on the weekends, definitely all summer.
Yeah, I went there, and it's definitely cool how it's all like flat, and you got parking lots, and you really get
Hmm.
out there and enjoy it. So that's really
Hmm.
cool as a fan. So, what is your
Hmm.
favorite tailgate food, Dan?
Oh, give me bratwurst, definitely. Hmm.
That's one thing I learned when I was up there is we don't eat them a lot down here in the South, but when I went to that game, everybody was eating them, and that was a big thing, and they're really good. I hadn't had one like an actual brat, I don't know, maybe ever until I went up there to visit, and boy, did
Yeah,
I like them a lot. They're good.
yeah, definitely.
Oh man! All right, what are some teams that you're going to keep an eye on? You got the Braves, you got the Dodgers. What about the other side?
And
AL.
then the American League is kind of free fall. There's really no great teams. I mean, the Yankees, I guess Aaron Judge is still out, but they're not playing great right now. I mean, Tampa's probably got the best record in the American League, but there's really no dominant team. I would assume Seattle. They have a lot of guys, especially Cal Riley, who hasn't really done much this season, who's had just an extreme drop off. They have Julio Rodriguez. They got some young talent there, but I mean, the American League is really up for grabs this year. There's really no clear front runner. There's no great teams. Like look at the AL Central. They're all essentially what within like 5 games of each other in the AL Central, except for Kansas City, I guess. So you have four of the 5 teams. Four of those teams could win that division right now. You got Minnesota, Chicago. I mentioned already. The Cleveland Indians. I guess Jose Ramirez is still out. He's coming back pretty soon. He's their best player. And the Tigers. What are they going to do with Max Scherzer? So the AL Central is a free fall. The AL East, the Red Sox, they were left for dead at the beginning of June, and they've won what 15 of 18 games, and now they're back in the playoff picture. I saw the thing today. There's like 5 teams fighting for the AL wildcard spot, the last one. So, yeah, the AL really is a free for all. I guess right now the best team is probably Tampa, but it'll probably come down to who gets the hottest in October, because really none of them is standing out right now in the American League.
Yeah, that's a good point you made there. Is not that side of there is kind of it's kind of weak or soft, I guess you could say. So we'll have to
Hmm.
kind of see kind of what happens there on that side. You got anything else on baseball there, Dan?
Baseball, no, I feel pretty confident the Brewers are in the division. I feel pretty confident the Dodgers are the only one in the National League, excuse me, in the NL East, I think. I think the Phillies have a chance to catch the Braves. The Braves have had some injuries, and the Phillies are playing good baseball right now. That's probably the biggest competition I think is going to be the can the Braves hold off the Phillies coming down the stretch?
Yeah, it's going to be tight, and it's going to really be close, and it's going to be key. Can't be getting injured. We got to be smart, how we play and whatnot. And it's going to come down to the wire, which it sometimes it does do that. It's kind of a common thing. So we play them late in the year, the Phillies, and have to kind of see how that shakes out. As a fan, I'm pumped up for the summer months. Let's get through July and August and get into September and really see where we're at. And if we got the lead, we just got to keep the lead and just keep playing good baseball in there. All right, that will put us into some NBA Bucks. I went to a game. It was the Hawks and the Bucks this year, and it was actually really cool. It was my first NBA game there in Atlanta.
Nice.
It's a cool experience. It was definitely different compared to any other event that I've been to, which with the fans and whatnot, and kind of what they sell. And but it was a cool experience. I really enjoyed it, and they were playing the Bucks, so that was really cool on my end. So right here on Sport Talk, there was a big trade for the Bucks. Franchise icon Giannis, I won't even try to say his last name, has been traded to the Heat for 4 players. So let's hear about it, Dan.
So yes, pretty much as Giannis's last year was going to be this coming year of the contract. He wasn't going to resign, and the Bucks had already mortgaged their future, which means they had no first round picks until like the year 2031. So if he walked, you couldn't even tank and try to get a first round pick, a high pick to replace him. So pretty much they knew he was going to leave, so they traded him 1 year early to try to get something back for Giannis. So pretty much they got 3 players from the Heat. Jaime Jaquez, who was the Heat's first round pick in 2023. And last year he was runner-up for 6th man of the year. So he's got some talent. They got Khalil Ware, who was the Heat's first round pick in 2024. You kind of see a trend here. And then we got Kaspis Jakunis, who was Heat's first round pick in 2025. So pretty much we got the last 3 first round picks. They traded to us some more picks, and then we gave them Giannis and Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis was a key role player, that is, on the Bucks 2021 championship team. So actually, there's nobody left on the team that won the championship 5 years ago. Everyone's gone. This is a brand new Bucks team. You got some young talent. Oh, and Tyler Hero, a local kid, was traded back to the part of the trade too. So pretty much the Bucks got rid of Giannis because they knew they're going to lose him anyways. And you got some 3 key young players. Hopefully one of them can develop into something. And you got Tyler Hero's kind of been a role player in the NBA for a while. They may keep him, but against last year, his deal, I wouldn't be surprised if they move him sometime during the season. They're just trying to reload, get young, and try to get something going with this franchise. Because right now, it's, it looks like we might hit a rough patch. We've had about the last half decade of being a championship contending team. You got 1 out of it. Probably should have gotten 2, but you kind of knew the window had closed. It wasn't closing. The window closed for the Bucks to compete. And you're trying to reset somehow. But it's going to be difficult because you have no first round picks until the year 2030, I believe, 2031, one of those 2 years.
Wow, that's a while there, but I think it'll be good for him. I think it's time for a little bit of a change up there, kind of try something different. It's a pretty big trade. It was definitely a big deal. I'm hearing about it down here, so it's definitely a lot of talk about it. Got a new coach there. You got Taylor Jenkins is the new coach there at the Bucks
from Memphis.
So that could be a good hire there, Dan.
Well, that's the big key is the head coach, because the Bucks have not been able to hit on the head coach thing at all. It's almost been just a comedy of errors. So Mike Budenholzer was the coach they hired, led them to the championship. In the next couple of years, with disappointment in the playoffs, they probably, looking back on, overreacted, fired him, brought in a coach named Adrian Griffin, who had never coached in the NBA before, and it just looked like he was in over his head. He made it about half of the season, then he was fired. Then they brought in Doc Rivers, who was friends with the owners, and that was just a disaster. So then they end up now at one point they were playing 3 head coaches at one time to coach the team, because when you fire the coach, you still got to pay him. It's guaranteed money. So there just was a disaster. Hopefully they finally hit with the head coach, but they might even they hit right. They might have hit too late. They might have hit after the Giannis era. So I think looking back on it, it will have been they made some roster moves that were questionable, but I think the biggest thing was they just didn't have a head coach who was right for that team for the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Gotcha. It's kind of early, but what are your thoughts for this coming up season?
For the Bucks, oh man, it's a pick 'em. I think if you hit 40 wins, that would be an improvement. They won like what, I think 32 or 33 wins last season. Yeah, one of those 2 last year with Giannis. Well, half the year, I guess he was always injured. So I think if you can just show 40, 41 wins, something in there, compete, have something going, keep the fans somewhat excited. Before Giannis came, though, they had like a 15-win season. So hopefully they don't do that bad, because that would really put the franchise back. And like I said, you have no first round pick. So it isn't even like you can be terrible, get a top pick and try to, rebuild that way. Because they trade the picks away to Portland for Damian Lillard. So their first round pick next year goes to Portland.
Ooh, I see. So they could get 40 plus wins. That'd be good. So do fans up there? Do they keep up with all that, or is it just kind of like a for
They
the
keep up
fans?
with it, but I would say the Bucks are the least popular of the four major teams.
Mhm.
If you can name four teams, I would say Packers one. I'd probably say Brewers two, and I'd probably go Badger football three, and fourth place would be the Bucks. It just is more of a Milwaukee type of sport. It's followed, or it's not followed in the up north. It's not followed in Green Bay, Wausau. Where like that, those markets follow the Packers, Brewers, Badgers more than they did the Milwaukee Bucks.
I see. All right. Yeah. So that sums up a lot of the NBA talk. You got anything else on that
Mm.
there, Dan?
The only thing we have is LeBron. Do you have any guess where he's going?
Oh yeah. Let's talk about this LeBron here. I think it's gonna be. I want to say it's the Heat. I said it last week. It's gonna be the Warriors, but I feel like there's more that comes out. I was hoping to be the Cavs, but I feel like if it would have been the Cavs, that had already been announced. He's take a big pay cut. It sounds like it's a team that he does go to, but I'll say the Heat. What do you think, Dan?
I think it's Cleveland, but
Okay.
the reporting, you're right though. The four teams people expect is Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia's in the mix, but I don't know how well a team he matches with them. But they're a team who could win the championship. So if he goes to Philadelphia, he'd be really taking the back seat. Just depends on how bad he wants that championship. And then the Warriors were mentioned because he likes that culture with Steph and Steve Kerr and Draymond. But I don't think that team's ready to compete, and I don't think he wants to play in the West because that West is just so stacked. You got Oklahoma City, you have San Antonio up there. It's tougher to get out of that West, then I don't think he's better than any of those teams, even in Golden State. So I don't think it's going to be Golden State. My guess is Cleveland because he goes back home and that's where he kind of ends his career. But maybe Miami. He just goes with, those guys, tries to get with Bam and Giannis and tries to make a run. But
That's true.
so I would guess it's either one of those three. It'd be Philadelphia, Miami, or Cleveland. It's not one of those. I'd be really surprised.
All right. Do you think he's getting kind of old, or can he still help the team win?
Well, he helped the team win. Last year, he was probably a top 20 player in the NBA. He's not the best anymore, obviously. But I mean, look at last year. I mean, they won the playoff series with him over Houston. Yes, I know Houston was injured, but he won a playoff series when Luka was out and Austin Reeves really didn't play at all. So he still got it. He's still a good player. Is he the best? No. Is he a top 20? Probably. Yeah. So yeah, you'd want a top 20 player on your league. I mean, on your team right now. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it'd be great for the team, for the fans of that team and everybody involved.
Hmm.
You buy all kind of shirts and hats and jackets and
Hmm.
get sold. So I'm sure the fans would love it. And if it went back to Cleveland, it would really be cool and special. Give it one last grand finale year. Let them go around all the stadiums and see it all one more time. It'd be cool to see him get it. Pick a team that can win it all and get one more ring. I think that would be cool. I don't know if he's getting a little old, but if he can help a
Hmm.
team win one more championship, that'd be pretty cool. I think.
Yeah, if he does that, then it could be Philadelphia. And that's the
Okay.
team that's most likely of those three. That's the team closest to a championship. But he just doesn't really fit well with that roster. Like he'd get more bent. He would get less minutes. I'm saying, I guess, in Philadelphia than he would get with Cleveland or Miami. So it depends on how many. Does he want to be on the floor more? Was he want to take more of a back seat? Because he'd be taking more of a back seat in Philadelphia because he's might be the third or fourth best player on that team.
Yeah, I'd be curious kind of what he wants there. I didn't really think about it that way, but yeah, does he want to play or does he just want to be on the team? And I feel like
Hmm.
he's gonna want to play. I feel like he's gonna want to be on a team that
Yeah,
can help win.
yeah.
Post his career, is he gonna be on TV as an announcer? You think, there, Dan?
I think he goes more the Kobe route with his businesses. That's where he was in LA. Like you saw, he did Space Jam a couple years ago. He does more commercials. I don't think he's going to sit down and do like a Charles Barkley type of thing. It's just not him. But I expect him to be more with, like Kobe. Kobe built his brand outside of basketball at the end of his life, and then Then it obviously ended shortly. Obviously, tragically, I should say. But no, I think he does more with music, movies, TV shows, stuff like that. I think he's going to do.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear on that. I was curious on kind of kind of what you thought on that. All right, that wraps
Mhm.
up the NBA. We'll keep this show moving. Wisconsin Badgers football. We'll do a little preview right here on
Mhm.
Sport Talk. So,
Mhm.
so they were going to play at Lambeau on September the 6th, the Shamrock Series. There, Dan, are you
Mhm.
going to go to Lambeau for that game?
I looked at it and I saw the ticket prices and I opted out immediately. It's pricey. Notre Dame's coming up. So Notre Dame is in like the northwest corner of Indiana. So you have a huge fan base in Chicago, and they're just going to drive up that weekend. Ticket prices are like $300-400 to get into the stadium. So I'll watch it at home, and I know already the Badgers are big underdogs. So if they surprise me, that would be amazing. But I kind of figure it's going to be a game that's definitely going to favor Notre Dame.
Yeah, when I saw that, that game, I thought that's pretty cool. And as a fan, it'd be cool to go to. But these tickets, they get so freaking expensive. It gets out of control. $300, $400, $500. I don't get it. I don't understand. I get it. You got to pay these players and whatnot. But until there's some type of change on that, it's gonna get wild, and it's already getting out of control there, Dan. And that's a cool
Mhm.
game to go to, but they just make it so hard to go. Like, why even
Mhm.
go if it's gonna cost that much money?
People want to pay it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is with Tennessee games or anywhere else. It's all the same. It's all the same pot. It's just kind of how it works out. But you got a
Mhm.
goal for wins for them this year, right? Damn.
The schedule is weaker. If that helps a little bit. Last year they had a gauntlet of a schedule. You got to at least get 7 or 8 wins, I feel like, because Fickle's got to be good. This is year 4 for him. And he has had some bad luck with the quarterbacks. Every year his starting quarterback has gotten injured and hasn't finished the season. So this year they got a guy named Colton Joseph, who played for Old Dominion last season. He can run, he can pass. So it looks good, but granted, this is the next level, which is Big Ten football. So it's going to depend on did they finally get their quarterback? And that's the biggest thing for them is going to be.
I understand that. All
Mhm.
right. Anything else
Who's
up
your
there?
quarterback with Tennessee? Who's the Vols quarterback? Is Joey Aguilar gone?
Yeah, he's gone, and I can't think of the other guy's name on top of my head. But they had one guy come in, and they've got the guy that was there. I can't think on top of my head what his name
Hmm.
is. But I
Hmm.
think it's going to be a little bit of a battle there to see who's going to
Hmm.
start. But I think it's going to be a good year there for the Vols, Dan. I think it's going to. They better get the playoff. I think that's always going to be the ultimate goal for Tennessee.
Hmm.
So we'll have to see how that shakes out. We got some shows coming up here on Sport Talk with some previews coming up very soon, maybe even next week. We're going to preview
Oh,
some
nice.
Tennessee football,
Awesome.
and we're going
Hmm.
to pick some the different teams to preview, and it's going to be a lot of fun right here on Sport Talk. We're going to preview some college football coming up very soon. All right, here we go. The big one. I got the hat on. The Green Bay Packers training camp begins 28th and 29th of
Hmm.
July. It's here, Dan. It's finally here.
It's finally here. We got football. Hmm.
Yeah, so that's coming up, and I'm sure that's going to be pretty cool for all the fans up there, which y'all up there, I assume, are more into the NFL than the
Hmm.
college. So
Hmm.
I'm sure this time of year, I'm sure y'all are kind of starting to chomp on it to get going. So it's here we go. It's here.
Hmm.
You got the coaches back for more. So last year didn't end the best as we saw there in the playoffs, but Matt LaFleur is back, got a new contract. So I feel like they believe in him, and they're going to
Hmm.
try to keep him around for a little bit longer, it sounds like.
Yeah, they have no major losses this offseason, so everyone's pretty much back. The biggest thing is Micah Parsons, their best player, maybe. Definitely best defensive player, tore his ACL last year. They say it's going to miss at minimum 9 months. The Packers have always done this with the ACL injuries. They don't get back before 9 months. Some teams go quicker than that, but the Packers are stubborn with this. So that means he won't be back till at least the beginning of October. So you're going to miss the first 4 weeks with no Micah Parsons. But the schedule is very favorable to begin the season. You can start even 3-1 without him and try to get him back. That would be huge because you start the year with 4 teams who did not make the playoffs last season. So,
There we go. Let's
mhm.
talk about the draft a little bit. They got 6 new players on the team. So can those 6 new players help them get going this year?
Well, they drafted a cornerback in the second round. Now they had no first round pick, which usually what helps the most starting off because they traded that to get Micah Parsons. So that was their biggest weakness last year was cornerback. So they're hoping they drafted this kid. But the thing with rookies in the second, third round is sometimes you hit with them, but sometimes when you do hit, though, they don't start producing until year 2 or year 3 or even later on into year 1. Because usually with the first round picks, those are the guys who come in and start in day 1. They're the high end prospects. The second, third round picks are guys who are high end, but they need some work. They need some, coaching up to get up to the NFL level. So the goal is to have the guy they picked in the second round. Hopefully, he can be a starter by the time the year is over and he can grow into that role. But like I said, they didn't lose anybody major this offseason. So pretty much they're bringing the same team back they had last year, who was at one point 9-3 before the injuries took a toll on them. And they're hoping that they can roll that team out and just run it back and hopefully making a run at the Super Bowl because this is a team that has talent on all sides of both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it's a team that definitely is a top team there in the NFL, and they got a strong fan base, and everybody wants to see them win. So I won't ask you all kind of questions about the season. Kind of save that for the next show. We'll get you back on here, and we'll do like a Packers preview with all kind of playoffs and all that kind of talk. But one thing that I did see in the news was players are wanting more of the actual grass fields and less of the turf. So as a fan, do you prefer games on grass or turf?
Well, definitely grass because less injuries. I mean, how much does it suck watching a game and seeing your favorite player go down? Nobody wants this. The reason they do this though is the owners, because if you put grass turf on, you really can't have concerts and stuff the owners want, non-football events in those stadiums. So they're not going to do it. The owners will not unless you're forced to by a CBA. They want to bring in their concerts on the non-game weekends. They want to do the other events. So that's what they're going to put turf down because you can roll it up and take it away and put the new, stuff, whatever you need to put down, new surface down for, other events. Grass, you can't do that. So they're just not going to give up that extra revenue. The owners are not. And so the players, if they want this fixed, they're going to have to fight for this in their next CBA.
Yeah, I'd be curious if something ever changes, but I feel like it's probably not going to. And
not unless they're forced to. The owners aren't going to give up that extra money. They want to have their Taylor Swift concert like in June during the offseason to fill up those stadiums. And when you can't do that when you have grass fields.
Right. I definitely see it both ways, but if they can make money throughout the whole year, then that's going to win. That's what they're going to get pick over that compared to just making their money during the season. So I was curious on your thought there. What you thought of that? I guess I like the grass. I prefer just like actual grass for events. That's just I think it just looks better. But that's some of that. You got anything else there on the Packers there, Dan?
No, pretty much just a quiet time. Everyone's waiting for season to begin. So we got 7 weeks it is, I think it is. 7 weeks to NFL Sunday kicks off. Is that right?
Yes.
No, 8 weeks. Excuse me, 8 weeks until NFL Sunday. The first week 1 kicks off in 8 weeks.
8 weeks. Yep. 8 weeks from today. So there you go, folks out there tuned into the show. 8 weeks. We're almost there. It's almost time to get going on that. All right. You got anything else for the show there, Dan?
Not much. Just, I guess that's kind of a quiet time in sports right now. We're getting ready for football to begin. Baseball's kind of in the dog days of summer. So, but it's going to get exciting really fast. College football training camp. I think training camp opens, NFL opens up, I believe, next week. College opens up pretty soon with their camps. Baseball's going to get into the playoff races, which gets exciting. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun sports couple months.
Oh, yeah. I'm fired up for what's coming up next. I love college football and you got the Titans and whatnot. So I definitely keep a close eye on the NFL and the Titans and Packers as well. I have to keep a close eye on what's all going on around me. So that's some of that. And real quick, I'll go over some of the picks there for me and Casper from this past weekend. For those that watch the show, keep up with it. It's now 20-18 D-Watt. So I got a 2-point lead there on Casper for the picks. So I got all 3 of mine right this past week, and he got 2 of his right. So I got the win there. All right, I'm going to shut it down. You got anything else before I shut it down there, Dan?
No, not really.
All right, I'm going to close it down. Thanks for watching, everybody, being tuned into the show. Like, share, and subscribe if you would on the YouTube. Find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow us on Facebook. That's where I put out all my content. They're on the Facebook page. Thanks for coming on, Dan.
No problem.
If you got any family, you can put it in the comments below. That being said, we'll say see you in the next one.
See you.